today.
Yeah, and we had some storms over the weekend, but the good news, Monday off to a good start.
A lot of people need to dry out after what we dealt with this weekend. I mean, even parts of Hart County, Grayson County, Greene County, you were dealing with the flooding for yesterday morning. Thankfully, things a lot calmer now, and we're seeing some of that sunshine for those of you along and north of the Ohio River. This is where you're getting in on a beautiful sunrise showing up on our SkyTrack camera in Jeffersonville, looking off towards the east. However, areas further to the south, we do have more of those lower clouds overhead and some areas of fog, and we're seeing that clearly on our Kentucky Mesnet cameras from Grayson County to Breckinridge County into Adair County to start off the day. But thankfully, this is an all-day scenario for you. While we're dealing with those clouds for this morning, we're also seeing some lower 70s further to the south, 60s further to the north, where those clearer skies allowed your temperatures to drop just a bit more. We head into the afternoon, more of us will get in on the sunshine with highs today, mainly in the 80s. But as we head into the afternoon, those of you along and south of the parkways also have a better chance for one or two isolated downpours. Most of us, though, will remain dry as we head throughout the rest of the day. And we're going to keep an eye on those small rain chances for the work week before rain chances try to go up just a bit more as we head into the weekend. Rob?
Tawana, thanks so much. Baxter Avenue at Grinstead Drive. That area still remains closed after reports about 2 hours ago of a semi that clipped some power lines in that area. Some lights came down, and so they actually closed off that area. It's going to be like that for a while. Again, this is the area right at Baxter Avenue and Grinstead Drive, so certainly watch your speed in there. Also watching some cleanup after another crash earlier this morning. This one appearing right at Hikes Point. Let me pull up the street here. Hang on with me just a second. And that's at Breckenridge Lane near Hikes Lane. Again, Hikes Point at Breckenridge Lane near Hikes Lane. Report of a crash there about 25 minutes ago. So watch for the brake lights in that area. Back over to you, Shannon.
Thank you. 1 month since Senator Mitch McConnell was hospitalized, he's now revealing why.
In his first official statement since the incident, he reveals he was hurt in a fall.
The announcement ends what's been weeks without any word of what specifically put him in the hospital.
The 84-year-old also says he's entering a new phase in treatment away from the hospital. Rob's back with more on what's next. Rob?
Yeah. And McConnell released this picture with his wife, Elaine Chao, yesterday. He says he now has moved from the hospital to a rehabilitation center and won't be returning to the Senate floor, at least just as of yet. McConnell says he's still working with staff on Senate business. The 84-year-old says that he took a fall last month and was briefly unconscious before being taken to the hospital. Doctors confirmed that he didn't break any bones, didn't suffer a concussion, and didn't have a heart attack nor a stroke. McConnell says that he has also been dealing with a case of mild pneumonia during the recovery process. In a statement, Senator McConnell wrote that, quote, "I still have unfinished business to complete on your behalf, and I have every intention of finishing the job that you elected me to do." A statement from the Office of Attending Physician says that he's experienced several falls over the past year because of his post-polio condition. And again, he says that as we get more information on the case and his condition, we will keep you posted. To find a complete statement along with all the updates on the senator's condition, go to wave3.com. Olivia, back over to you.
Thank you, Rob. We're learning more about how Republican Senator Lindsey Graham died. A preliminary medical examiner report says he died from a tear in his aorta. His office originally said he had suffered from a brief and sudden illness. The Republican senator was one of the most influential figures in Washington on international affairs, and he advised President Trump on matters such as the Iran war and Russia. Graham had just visited Ukraine to meet with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Graham was 71 years old. Under South Carolina law, Republican Governor Henry McMaster will appoint a temporary replacement for Graham. In a post on social media, Senator McConnell called him a good friend and a great American. We'll be right back. Oh.
It was a deadly and violent weekend in Louisville. 3 shootings left 3 people dead and 7 others hurt. These are where all those shootings took place. The latest one was last night. LMPD says a man was shot and killed close to the intersection of East Oak Street and South Floyd. The name of the victim has not been released, and LMPD is still looking for the shooter.
Shively police are looking for the person who opened fire inside a liquor store, killing one and hurting 3 others. This happened around 10 o'clock Saturday morning at HK Liquors on Ralph Avenue. The name of the person killed has not been released yet. No arrests have been made in the case. Shively ABC issued an emergency suspension of the store's liquor license following the homicide.
A teenager is dead after a shooting in the Cloverleaf neighborhood. It happened just after 10 Saturday night on Gagel Avenue, close to Manslick Road. Police say the original call was for a fight in the area. When they got there, they found 2 teen boys who had been shot, and one died at the scene. The other boy was taken to the hospital, but should survive. According to Louisville's gun violence dashboard, there have been 46 people killed in shootings so far this year. That's slightly down compared to this point last year, when there had been 52 shot and killed. Those numbers are significantly down compared to 2024. That number then was 87.
Tomorrow, a new Kentucky law will take effect that allows 18 to 20-year-olds to apply for a provisional concealed carry license. The provisional license is only valid in Kentucky and expires when the holder turns 21. To get a permit, applicants must complete firearm safety training and pass a background check. Governor Andy Beshear vetoed the bill after it was passed by the legislature, saying federal law restricts people under 21 from buying handguns. But supporters say it's about protecting the Second Amendment.
The people who get concealed carry permits are not the people who are committing crimes. The people who are committing crimes don't go out and get a permit.
School officials say they're concerned because many high school seniors reach age 18 during the school year, making them eligible for the permit while school is still in session. The new law starts on Tuesday.
The Wave troubleshooters learned Metro ABC shut down a pop-up party in St. Matthews Saturday night, and they say it was dangerously overcrowded. It was held inside St. Matthews Station on Shelbyville Road. Metro ABC says there were up to 600 people inside, and admission was being charged without the proper permits. The troubleshooters obtained a flyer advertising the event. The group, Crowd Control Kentucky, shared the event location on social media Saturday night. In a video on their page, they told people to enter the venue through the alley in the back. A separate video before midnight showed a long line down the alley with people waiting to get inside, and others showed just how crowded it was. ABC says they contacted the property owner and cleared the building, but did not say on what other enforcement action may have been taken.
Today, a man is expected to face a judge for the first time after police say he shot another man in the California neighborhood last month. Amari Battle is charged with attempted murder, assault, and violation of a protective domestic violence order. Police say he shot a man at the intersection of Hale Avenue and South 23rd Street on June 12th. The victim survived his injuries. Court documents say Battle intended to kill the victim, but a witness pushed him off the victim before a magazine fell out of the gun. Battle is due in court at 9 o'clock this morning.
LMPD wants to find suspected street racers who caused some major damage to a Louisville church's parking lot. Police posted video showing drivers performing burnouts at Virginia Avenue Baptist Church by West End School and South 36th Street. Police say 2 of the 3 drivers have been identified, but they're looking for the driver of the gray Dodge Charger that had a black tail visor. Officers say the burnouts and donuts caused thousands of dollars in property damage. Any information, contact LMPD.
Today, nightly closures will start on I-64 in Floyd County. It's part of a multi-year project to improve traffic flow. Starting at 9 o'clock tonight, there will be lane restrictions on a 4-mile stretch from Main Street in New Albany to the Paoli 150 exit. Crews plan to reopen the lanes at 6 o'clock each morning. Their goal is to widen the road from 2 to 3 lanes. And DOT says construction will only happen overnight for now.
We're starting a little light. We're going to be doing nighttime closures, lane closures, and maybe some ramp closures over the next few months. But really, it's going to be nighttime. So during the day, it's not going to be really big impactful. But as this project progresses, that'll be changing.
Construction on the improved 64 project is expected to be completed by the end of 2029. Meanwhile, the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet says crews are still on schedule to reopen parts of I-65 on August 1st. Transportation leaders say concrete closure pours are complete and approach slabs are being poured. Crews have worked more than 40,000 hours since the start of the closure at the beginning of June. The goal is to reopen 2 lanes in both directions between Jefferson Street and the Watterson in 3 weeks. Starting today, you have a chance to save some money when you buy a burger this week.
It is the start of Louisville Burger Week. Dozens of restaurants are participating. Blind Squirrel, Bourbon and Burgers, Harry's Bar and Grill, Breck Bar, and more. Participating restaurants are offering $7 or $8 burger specials. And if you check in to at least 4 participating restaurants on the app, you could win the ultimate grilling prize package. And still to come, a dramatic finish to the ISCO Championship.
We'll tell you who came out on top of a 3-hole playoff to win the tournament. After a long and rainy weekend at Hurstbourne Country Club, the ISCO Championship has crowned its 2026 winner.
On Sunday, Stephen Fisk outlasted Taylor Pendrith for his 2nd PGA Tour title, 2 putting for par on the 3rd hole of a playoff. Fisk closed his 4th round with a 3 under 67 at Hurstbourne Country Club to match Pendrith at 16 under. In the first playoff hole, Pendrith missed a birdie putt for the win. Both players then scrambled their way into pars on the 2nd playoff hole, forcing a 3rd. The 3rd playoff hole, Pendrith missed a 10-foot par putt, and Fisk, just 3 feet out, made his par, winning the 2nd event for him on tour. And he talked about what it was like to get that win.
It's been a frustrating year trying to back up that first win, and I've showed some pretty good signs of some solid golf, but haven't really had that opportunity to win a golf tournament that I've been kind of craving. So it was unbelievable to get it done again.
Now the 29-year-old gets into this year's PGA Championship. Last October, he won the Sanderson Farms Championship in Mississippi for his first PGA Tour title. Last year's winner, William Mao, finished tied for 10th at 12 under, and Max Homa finished tied for 39th at 7 under. And Olivia is the one who got to place that garland of roses over his shoulder. This was the 2nd time she had the honor of announcing the winner and also doing that right there.
Yeah, it's so much fun just being part of it. You know how much I love golf, or pretend that I'm good at it. But I was shaking yesterday, 3 playoff holes.
Yeah, that's
there I am
amazing.
shaking, my heart pounding, and I'm not even the one golfing.
Right.
I cannot imagine what was going through his mind.
Well, he's waking up very happy today.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he probably wishes that the weather was better over the past couple of days from what he's had to deal with. But thankfully, things are a lot calmer as of right now. Still looking at many of our Kentucky Mesonet cameras. For those of you in Carroll County, you are starting out the day with quite a bit of sunshine, while your friends further to the south are dealing with some fog and some lower level clouds. Areas that had a little bit more of that rainfall yesterday, that is where we're seeing the majority of that fog, the lower level clouds as well. So basically anywhere from portions of Franklin County down into Grayson County, getting in on some of those extra clouds overhead for this morning. So that is something that we'll be watching pretty closely. Outside of the clouds, things are quiet, no rain in our area to speak of as of right now. The only rainfall that we are seeing is on the very southern portions of Kentucky and into parts of Tennessee. That's all we got going on. But the boundaries that are still nearby can help to trigger additional showers and thunderstorms for later on today. We're still sitting in the upper 60s and low 70s right now. We will return to the 80s for highs in most spots for this afternoon. The metro having a better chance to touch 90 as we watch for a few isolated rain chances. And those rain chances will be for those of you further to the south. So after starting off with those lower level clouds and those areas of fog for those of you along and south the parkways this morning, we'll see that clearing out as we get towards the afternoon. It makes sun and clouds throughout the rest of the day. As your temperatures start to warm up further into those 80s, we'll also see some of these isolated showers and thunderstorms start to fire up, with areas along and south the parkways having the better chance for 1 or 2 of those downpours. Anything that's on the radar will clear out for the overnight hours into early tomorrow, leaving behind temperatures in the 60s and the low 70s. As we look ahead to the next 10 days, what we have going on for tomorrow will be much of the same. Highs near 90, a mix of sun and clouds, not much going on there. Then we head into the latter portions of the week. We will see temperatures climbing into the low 90s for your high, so a little bit of a warm up there. A better chance for some isolated showers and thunderstorms as we head into the weekend. And once we get further into next week, we do see rain chances going up. That will come along with some cooler temperatures coming our way. So got a little bit of everything in terms of summer weather showing up over the next 10 days. Olivia?
We do. Thank you, Tawana. A new health clinic has opened inside West End School in Louisville's Chickasaw neighborhood, offering medical services as part of an effort to address a life expectancy gap between the city's east and west sides. According to the Louisville Health Equity Map, life expectancy in parts of West Louisville is as low as 64 years. That's compared to about 79 years in parts of East Louisville. That's a difference of roughly 15 years. A 2025 community needs assessment released by Norton Healthcare found more than half of those surveyed in West Louisville said transportation is a barrier to care. 42% said their geographic location creates additional barriers to meeting their health needs. Abby Nolan, a physician assistant, said the experience has reinforced the need for care in the area.
Really seeing it firsthand and how much the community needs help and the people that are out there and that need the health care. It's been great to be hands-on and actually be out there helping people.
The clinic is operated by Park Duval Community Health Centers. It accepts Medicaid, Medicare, and private insurance, and it's open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Well, back to school is almost here.
We'll tell you how you can make sure your student is healthy and ready for the return of classes. Well, this weekend, athletes took to the streets to test their athletic skills in the Louisville Triathlon. It was the 12th year the race has taken place. Typically, it consists of a swim, bike, and run, but the swim was canceled because of poor water quality in the Ohio River. It didn't stop athletes from taking on the 11 or 22-mile bike ride or the 3 or 6-mile run. Friends and family said they had a great time cheering them on.
It's really fun. High energy. It's really fun. We get to see the runners and bikers go by multiple times, which is great for spectators.
Some athletes were racing for more than just a medal, though. Check out this couple. That's Ben and Emily. They completed the race and then had plans to get married right after that. Their cheer squad wore shirts that read "Race to the Altar" on the front. So a big congratulations to the newlyweds.
A local organization celebrated those who make up Louisville's food and drink scene. Apron Incorporated hosted their annual Taste of Independence event. They say it's about uplifting the city's independent restaurant community and the chefs. Apron is a nonprofit dedicated to providing financial relief for those in the restaurant industry who might face unexpected hardships.
Due to no fault of their own. So this means that they've had an accident or an illness or something that's preventing them from working. And when they don't work, they don't get paid. And Apron steps in with emergency relief grants to make sure that they can then, do what they need to do.
There were over 40 tasting stations working to raise money for the group.
As families get ready for a new school year, pediatricians are encouraging parents to put their child's annual wellness visit at the top of their checklist. Doctors say yearly checkups help track a child's growth and development and make sure immunizations are up to date. It's also a time to complete sports physicals and do any medication paperwork required by schools. They say these visits are important for children of all ages, including teenagers, because providers can also screen for mental health concerns and other issues that may not come up at home.
There's a lot of emotional development. There's a lot of mental and ongoing physical development in the teenagers as well, especially with the teens. We're talking a lot about their mental health and overall wellness, getting them used to being more primary caretakers for themselves and making their own healthy choices. So this is a good time to touch base about those things.
She says doctors screen for depression and other mental health concerns at every well check. They recommend scheduling those appointments soon before the annual back-to-school rush later this summer. And speaking of back to school, Wave News, the Neighborhood Place and Furniture Fair have teamed up to collect donations of new school supplies for local students. Last year was the first time we hosted the supply drive, and thanks to the community's help, we raised enough donations for 400 local students to head back to the classroom geared up for a new year of learning. You can drop off supplies at either Furniture Fair location now through July 24th. It's right around the corner.
It really is. We'll be right back.
This Wave News Update is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
Good morning. I'm Shannon Kogan. Senator Mitch McConnell says he's entering a rehabilitation facility following a fall that sent him to the hospital. The senator posted this picture yesterday. The Office of the Attending Physician says he fell in his home last month, which briefly knocked him out and left him with minor injuries. He also developed pneumonia that required antibiotic treatment while getting care in the hospital. McConnell says he won't be able to return to the Senate floor this week, but said he will work with his staff on Senate business. Let's head over to Tawana right now, and it's going to be a quiet weather week.
Yes, it is. We're going to be looking at not much in terms of rain chances as we head over the next 10 days. So for today, going to see plenty of sunshine, highs near 90 degrees right now. For those of you south of the parkways, this is where we're running into some extra clouds, but those will clear by the time we reach the afternoon. Now, in terms of isolated rain chances along and south of the parkways, have a better chance to see that for later on this afternoon. Now, looking ahead to the rest of the 10-day tomorrow, highs near 90, lower rain chances, warming up into the low 90s for your highs as we get further into next week. So that's something that we'll be watching very, very closely. And as we get into the weekend, we're going to be seeing some of those rain chances slightly increasing across the region with a better chance for showers and thunderstorms by the middle of next week. Rob?
Tawana, thanks so much. Keeping our eyes on some closures at Baxter Avenue and Grinstead Drive. That road, excuse me, let me pull that up real quick here. Here we go. We want to see a live picture of that. And there it is. There we go. Lines down in that area, so certainly watch your speed. That, again, is the area right around Baxter Avenue at Grinstead Drive after lines down there a little bit earlier this morning. Also watching cleanup after a two-car crash. This is coming into us at 264 at Freedom Way. The right lane and right shoulder also blocked in that area. Make it a great and safe morning. We'll see you back here later.
Good morning. Happy Monday. Thanks for staying with us here for Sunrise Extra. I'm Olivia Russell. Well, it was a deadly and violent weekend here in Louisville. 3 separate shootings have left 3 people dead and 7 people injured. Wave News reporter Meredith Lee talked to neighbors who say they're tired of the violence.
Just after 3 o'clock Saturday morning, Shively police responded to the 3200 block of Ralph Avenue to a shooting they say happened inside of this liquor store. Officers found 4 people shot. 3 victims ranging from their late 20s to their mid-40s were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. A 4th victim died at the scene. According to the store's hours, it should have closed almost an hour earlier. The identity of the person killed has not yet been made public. Hours later, just before 6:30 p.m., another shooting, this time on Roy Wilkins Avenue near downtown Louisville. Neighbor Mikhail Tenin watched it unfold.
By the time I made it to the door, the car was coming through the yard and it stalled. I guess from where they had hit that generator over there, it stalled and 3 people had jumped out.
This is the car Tenin says those men were in. Inside, blood smeared across the seats. LMPD says 2 men shot had non-life-threatening injuries, while a third remains in critical condition.
It was just a normal Saturday day, and then it gets disrupted by such a tragic event.
Both investigations are ongoing, and police haven't identified any suspects.
It's hard living in this type of community where this happens a lot. And I wish more people kind of would speak up and say something, that maybe we could kind of come to a little bit of a resolution or a little bit of a safer neighborhood.
LMPD and Shively Police are still looking for anyone with information on these shootings. For the Roy Wilkins Avenue shooting, you can contact the anonymous LMPD tip line by calling or using the online portal. You can call 574-LMPD. For the Ralph Avenue shooting, you should contact Shively Police, and we have more on that on wave3.com. Metro arson investigators are looking for a man they say is connected to a garage fire in St. Matthews. Investigators want to question the man in these pictures. Arson believes he knows something about the 2 detached garages that were set on fire on Lindmar Drive on May 9th. $200,000 worth of damage was done. Investigators say security video shows the fire being set by 2 people. So if you recognize that man, you should call the Metro Arson Bureau or call the anonymous tip line. Again, that number is 574-LMPD. A woman is under arrest after a stabbing in the Russell neighborhood. LMPD says around 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon, officers were in the area of South 22nd and Cedar Streets on an unrelated call when a man and a woman involved in a domestic violence incident approached them. Police say the man had 2 knife wounds to his arm. First responders said they were not life-threatening, and the man went to the hospital on his own. Officers arrested the woman and charged her with assault. A man found not guilty of murder by reason of insanity in connection to the death of a 6-year-old Woodford County boy is scheduled to be released from prison on July 29th, but a state law could keep him from walking free. Madison Porter explains why.
Ronald Exantis' last day in the Department of Corrections is scheduled for July 29th. However, some believe he should not be released.
There needs to be further due diligence to ensure that the public is protected.
In 2018, a jury found Exantis not guilty of murder by reason of insanity in connection to the death of 6-year-old Logan Tipton, and guilty but mentally ill on 3 counts for attacking Logan's family. According to the Justice and Public Safety Cabinet, Exantis has served nearly 12 of his 20-year sentence, getting credit for time served in good behavior. Last month, the cabinet sent a letter to Woodford County court officials reminding them that Exantis can be held beyond his sentence through involuntary hospitalization. In a letter, the cabinet said because the jury was split on Exantis' mental capacity, the court did not conduct an involuntary hospitalization proceeding, but it still can. State Representative TJ Roberts says the court must act.
The justice system has a chance to do the right thing here. And I think they know what the right thing is.
Roberts helped pass Logan's Law this year, eliminating split verdicts in mental illness cases. Had it been in place in 2018, the court would have been required to hold an involuntary hospitalization proceeding, but the split verdict created a legal gap that was never addressed.
With the prohibition on split verdicts, though, it would have been a guilty verdict, no doubt in my mind, and the public would always be protected from this monster.
Woodford County Commonwealth's attorney Kelly Kearney says in a statement that state law prevents her from confirming, denying, or discussing whether a proceeding will happen.
And Roberts said under Kentucky law, if someone is committed through involuntary hospitalization, they can be held for as long as the court deems necessary. Well, we're hearing from Indiana lawmakers as people in Clarksville are worried after a dog purchased from a local pet store tested positive for parvovirus. The Fernandez family says they bought a 3-month-old corgi from the pet store Puppygram, only to have it diagnosed with a contagious disease just hours later. The business has been at the center of concerns over the years, with allegations of sick dogs being purchased from puppy mills. The Puppygram store in Louisville was forced to close after Metro Council passed an ordinance banning the retail sale of cats and dogs. Puppygram has then opened opened across the river in Clarksville. Over the weekend, Indiana Congresswoman Wendy Dant-Chesser held a town hall where people expressed transparency concerns.
Transparency about being able to tell the public, this is how many dogs were in our store when this public safety, matter happened. This is how we cleaned. This is what we did about it. This is how many dogs seem sick. We're quarantining this many animals. Just some public transparency when a safety issue like this comes up would be beneficial.
Puppygram CEO Miles Handy claimed animal activists are using the family's situation to hurt his business, and he has no concerns about the virus. Representative Dant-Chesser acknowledged that, as far as she knows, the store is operating legally. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll show you some very interesting interactions with wildlife. Stick with us.
Meteorologist Juana Andrew here with a check of your forecast. And for today, we are going to see a mix of sun and clouds across the region. Those extra clouds expected for those of you in Kentucky. Temperatures today climbing into the 80s in most spots. And we will watch for a few isolated showers and thunderstorms trying to pop across our Kentucky counties mainly for this afternoon and into the evening. So after starting off with those lower clouds, for those of you further to the south, you do see a better chance of one or two of those downpours later on today. Then we'll dry out overnight with the clouds clearing and temperatures falling down to the 60s and the low 70s. Your 10-day shows that we're going to keep things mainly quiet as we head through this week, with highs climbing further into the low 90s as we get into your Thursday and Friday afternoons. Now for the weekend, we do see a better chance for a few of these isolated showers and thunderstorms, and a cold front moving through towards the end of the weekend and beginning of next week can not only drop our temperatures down, but increase those rain chances across our region.
Well, starting today, it's a very fun week. You have a chance to save some money when you buy a burger.
Yeah, my mouth is already watering right now. It's the start of Louisville Burger Week, as it's called. Dozens of restaurants we've learned they're participating this year. That includes Blind Squirrel, Bourbon and Burgers, Harry's Bar and Grill, and Rec Bar, and so many more. Participating restaurants are offering $7 or $8 burger specials. Can't beat that. Participating restaurants also say that if you check in at least 4 participating restaurants on the app, you could win the ultimate grilling prize pack. That is a thing that you cannot go wrong with, I think, here. There's so many great places to choose from.
Yeah, and they have so many different creations when it comes to burgers, so you get to try something new,
Absolutely.
too.
We love that about Louisville.
Well, several neighbors in Indiana can't solve the mystery of an animal that's been prowling their streets and backyards. They called the Department of Natural Resources to try to find it, and a woman who tried to catch the animal on film couldn't even figure out what it was at first. Take a look.
I thought maybe it was a deer laying down, and we couldn't really make it out exactly, and we didn't want to go all the way back. But I started to take some video. When it stood up, there was a concern because there's not a cat that big, and it was moving like a cat for sure.
Yeah, it looks like a big cat and it has a really long tail too. But a DNR mammal expert reviewed that video and said it doesn't appear to be a mountain lion or a bobcat. So if anyone they spot this strange animal in their backyard, just take a video of it for them to review as long as it is safe to do so. That's the key thing.
Is that the same thing right there? Is that what they're talking about?
That's
okay.
Yeah, and as someone
long.
who is
It's
very
really-
familiar with cats, that's not your typical house cat. That video looks more like a house cat,
That one
but it
does.
looks really big, and I can't get over the long, thick tail.
The-
That's what's also interesting
Yeah,
to
that
me.
tail is thicker than the house cat's. The mystery continues. Hey, also learning something about this. This is an amazing story. A 65-year-old man now recovering from injuries after being thrown, get this, at least 8 feet into the air by a charging bison at Yellowstone National Park. Take a look. Witnesses say that the man was walking with his grandson when the agitated bison made them the direct targets. Bison ran away when witnesses started yelling at the animal. Now, this is Yellowstone's second human bison incident this year alone. Grandpa is trying to get away as best as he can. The first incident, by the way, occurred last month when a 12-year-old was hurt in that case. The National Park Service recommends staying at least 100 yards away from animals like bison. That is unbelievable that he just made it out. They said he was joking later from the hospital as he was getting treated, but what
Yeah.
a scary situation. You don't anticipate that.
Very scary. I mean, we are very lucky to not have those here in Kentucky, so we don't have to deal with them.
Look, I mean, but he was determined. Look at that.
Yeah,
crazy.
there he goes. Well, take a look at another scary moment caught on camera. A man in Lake Tahoe, California had a close encounter with a bear. The man says his daughter first spotted the animal in the garage, so he went outside to check it out, and he had his bear spray in hand. Good thing he did, because out of the corner of his eye, he saw the animal suddenly charge at him, and he quickly used the spray.
And I just kind of caught something out of my left eye, and it was the bear rushing in. We were both startled, and I just kind of shot the spray, and the overspray from the shot hit me and hit my eyes. And
So the man said bears are common in that area. They often get into cars or trash looking for food. But honestly, it looks like the bear was just as scared as he was. But I mean, it probably had to do something with the bear spray there.
I didn't even realize there was actual bear spray and that he was already equipped with it and ready to go. And that bear was obviously not fond of whatever that was. So good for the guy.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I was in Montana a couple weeks ago, and they had bear spray rentals at the airport because, it's something that you hope you never have to use. But so a lot of times it does go unused. So
Yeah.
it's smart to just rent it out there.
Thanks so much for becoming one with Mother Nature. I'll stay inside. Thank you very much.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with some headlines and sports coming up in just 2 minutes. Well, over the weekend, Lou City got to do something they're pretty good at doing, beat Lexington. For a matchup to be a rivalry, both teams have to win, which Lexington has actually never done against the boys in purple. Behind 2 goals from Jansen Wilson and a red card to Lexington and former Lou City player Philip Goodrum, Lou City came from behind to hand Lexington a 4-2 defeat Saturday, extending a dominant run against the in-state team. The win was just Louisville's 3rd against Lexington this season. That's across 3 different competitions. Lou City is 6-0 all-time versus Lexington with a 13-4 scoring advantage. With the result, though, Lou City maintains possession of the Commonwealth Cup rivalry trophy that's presented by Republic Bank. The win also secured first place for Lou City in Group 4 of the Prinks Tires USL Cup, earning a bid to the tournament's knockout round for the first time in club history. Glad to see them winning again. The 2-day 613 pick MLB draft is now completed. U of L UK very well represented, especially early in the draft, which is exactly where you want to see them. Louisville Zion Rose is heading to the Kansas City Royals as the 6th overall pick. Rose became the 11th first-round selection in Cardinal history. As for the Cats, Tyler Bell is heading to the Colorado Rockies. He was selected 10th overall. The sophomore infielder becomes the 2nd highest pick in program history, only behind Chad Green, who was picked 8th. That was back in 1996. So in total, the Cats had 4 players selected, later adding a 4th round, 16th round, and 20th round picks. In Louisville, they saw 5 total players selected, later adding a 5th, 8th, 10th, and 11th round pick. Big congratulations to all of those guys who heard their names called. But we're now down to the last 4 teams at the World Cup as the quarterfinals wrapped up over the weekend. In the quarterfinals, France beat Morocco. Spain took down Belgium, who knocked out the U.S. England beat Norway in a game that went into extra time. Then in the last match of the quarterfinals, Argentina defeated Switzerland thanks to 2 extra time goals. Next, France will take on Spain in the semifinals tomorrow at 3 p.m. in Dallas. England and Argentina will face off on Wednesday at 3 p.m. in Atlanta, and you can watch both games on Fox. But hey, maybe you want to hit the road and check out a game in person with England and Argentina in Atlanta. That's the closest remaining game to our area left in the World Cup. So if you're thinking about going, it's going to be an expensive one. Hopefully you have some extra money saved up. Break open that piggy bank because according to SeatGeek, the cheapest ticket is currently sitting at over $3,000. The most expensive ticket on the site, that one will cost more than $35,000. So even if you do have that kind of money, I don't know if you can really justify spending that much. I don't know. I'm sure there are plenty of rich people out there who would spend that money. Not me. Well, thousands of people gathered Sunday in Mexico City to swap 2026 World Cup soccer stickers as part of a Guinness World Record attempt. This was the event across North America as sticker swaps were also held at American Dream Mall in East Rutherford, New Jersey, Rockefeller Center in New York City, and Guadalajara, Mexico. The goal was to surpass the current record of 2,577 to one stamps or swaps as they swap events took place at all 4 participating locations simultaneously. One 12-year-old did her part, collecting all 980 stickers. Wow. Congrats to that 12-year-old there. And since the event ended last night, it's still unclear if that record was broken, but we know they were watching very closely and really cool effort no matter what. That's all the time we have here for Sunrise Extra. I hope you have a great Monday and a great week ahead. We'll see you back here tomorrow.